Hello, my beautiful people, my chosen ones, star seeds, and your divergents. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about the map of consciousness versus the seven deadly sins and how you can use that to navigate through the matrix. All right, let's talk about the first thing. The map of consciousness. What exactly is it? Well, some really smart people came up with a map, and at the top has things like love, bliss, joy. In the middle, it's fairly neutral, calm, normalcy. And in the bottom, anger, hate, shame. It basically splits the level of vibrations that a person can have. Your vibrations are equivalent to your emotions. So, if you're at joy, love, or peace, that's considered high vibration. If you're normal, you're just neutral. And if you're in hate, anger, or negativity, chances are you're in a negative vibration. Now, with that being said, we're going to talk about how these things affect you on a day-to-day. Okay? Now, the map of consciousness is mainly for my scientific people. Okay? On a day-to-day, we go through a plethora of emotions. Sometimes we feel sad. Sometimes we feel happy. Sometimes we feel hungry. Sometimes we don't even know how we feel. But the map covers basically the full spectrum of us and how we operate on a day-to-day. Now, in order for us to learn how to transmute those emotions, we have to first learn how to identify when we tap into them. I'm sure everyone has tapped into anger before. That's the most common one. Typically, our family uses shame on us. Oh, you didn't amount to anything. Oh, you didn't go to college. All these things keep you in a mental bind and make you beat yourself up because you never think to yourself that, well, yeah, I didn't go to college, but I had a good career. Yeah, I don't know how to drive a car, but I know how to take the bus every day and show up to work on time. Those are the ways that you have to transmute those negative emotions or vibrations. Now, let's get to the seven deadly sins. The seven deadly sins doesn't touch on the positive aspect, but if you really think about it, it's equivalent to the low vibrational entities on the map of consciousness, and they're basically one and the same. In the seven deadly sins, we have some examples of lust, gluttony, and envy. If you have too much lust, then you should already know what will happen. Chances are you're going to try to talk to someone who's married. Chances are you're going to get yourself in entanglements. And all these things keep you at a low vibration because you constantly have to go around fixing situations. And people are all in your energy. Gluttony. Eating unnecessary food for no reason. Even if you have the money for Starbucks, doesn't mean you should go to Starbucks every day. Maybe you should take a day or two and make some tea. Because ultimately, the gluttony, all the sugar from the Starbucks is decreasing your health. And that's what low vibrational entities do. They decrease your lifespan. Envy is one of the 7 deadly sins. Envy is one of the most destructive forces on this earth. Most of the cases you see on forensic files, chances are it's because of envy. Envy in terms of finances. Because someone feels that someone made more than them, or the person that made more money didn't deserve it. When in reality, money is a frequency, and the higher your frequency, the more money you acquire. Because you can't acquire money in a state of envy or gluttony. Those vibrations are too low. It just wouldn't work out. Now, in the Christian faith, that's the one that really focuses on the 7 deadly sins and how it works. But they also give you a solution in how to combat those low frequencies. There's a reason why they tell the people in the church to come to confession, and the priest forgives them. Because absolving one of their sins and asking for forgiveness transmute the negative and low vibration into neutral or high vibration. For example, a man walks in a church, tells the priest, "I hate that man. He stole from me." Your natural reaction if someone steals from you is anger and violence. But the fact that he went to the priest and confessed and asked for forgiveness, that took the burden off of his shoulders, and he realized that there's more abundance to be had than to worry about what a low entity has done. Because eventually the low entity will steal the wrong thing and will find itself in a grave. Always remember that confession and forgiveness on the inner also works with the map of consciousness, because they are one and the same. It is essential that you try your best to stay in a neutral state or in a high frequency or vibration at all times, especially if you're a chosen one, starseed, or neurodivergent. One of the examples I would like to give is based on an animal. We would like to call him man's best friend. If you ever notice dogs, when they see their owner, if they have a really good owner, they're very happy when the owner shows up. And if someone tries to break into the house and the dog is not aware of that person, typically the dog reacts in anger. Now, when the dog reacts in anger, its anger is projected into the 3D dimension, into biting. And the dog's joy of seeing its owner is projected into the 3D of licking its owner and wagging its tail. And that applies for us as chosen one starseeds and neurodivergent. So use the map of consciousness and understand the 7 deadly sins, so that way you can use forgiveness as a way to transmute those negative entities and turn them into positive outcomes. Now, let's do a little bit of practical application. I'm walking down the street. I see you. You see me. I bump into you purposely. Your move. Now, at that point, you have to realize that you can react in a negative way or a positive way. Chances are, if I'm a low vibrational entity, I'm also trying to pull you into a low vibration, which means I want you to react and I want you to fight back so I can fight back, because I can't do anything unless there is an energy exchange. Now, if you're following the map of consciousness, you can just look at that situation, keep it normal, realize that you don't have to be in a state of anger, and realize that you can go about your day enjoying your day in a state of joy, completely ignoring the low vibrational entity. Practical application number 2. You're driving. You're having a nice, peaceful day. The sun is shining. Your AC is cool on your face. Someone pulls up with extremely loud music, cuts in front of you, and brake checks you. You might or might not have a pew pew on you. And you could pull it out and react through a low vibration. But then you pause to yourself and realize that the sun is shining, your AC is cold, and it's a beautiful day. And that person is in a low vibration. And eventually, they're going to run into another low vibrational entity and take each other out. So you put your pew pew away and you continue driving and you go to the park and enjoy your walk. After that, you go home and enjoy a nice meal, and you realize that the day wasn't so bad after all, even encountering that low vibrational entity on the road. Practical application number 3. You're minding your business. You get a text from a family member. Oh, you're lazy. We never see you doing any work. That's what they see on the 3D. But majority of your work is on the inside. So, you always choose to stay neutral and realize that regardless of what they say, as long as you know that deep down inside that you believe in yourself and Christ and the entities have your back, that you're doing the right thing, you just ignore the text, because that's a low vibrational entity only trying to put you into a low vibrational state, because they realize when you compound on high vibration day after day after day after day, you start to become a powerhouse, untouchable, because the entities start trusting you more, knowing that you're going to do the right thing. And if it ever comes to a time that you have to do the wrong thing, it must have been a life and death situation where you had to protect yourself and your family. With that being said, guys, please stay in the right vibrations. I would suggest downloading the map of consciousness picture into your phone. Always review it and try your best to stay in the right paradigm. Because if you stay in a negative frequency, in the negative vibrations of lust, gluttony, envy, anger, shame, pride, they will ruin you. And they will ruin those around you. You have to choose to be the light in the darkness. Stay safe, my chosen ones, starseeds, and your divergence. See you in the next one.